Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
it.
No. We'll talk about that one more.
Terrible idea.
So,
Awesome.
Peter's trying to force a reboot, and I'm trying to tell it to kick rocks here. There we go. I just won't touch anything. We'll just leave it alone. What's happening, man?
What's up?
Not much.
Another exciting day in the bowling world.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Which means nothing happened.
Other than the Queens or not the Queens, I'm sorry, the Cleveland. Was it Cleveland Open? I think they're what they're bowling this week. Cleveland Summer Series, something like that they're doing. Man, those guys need to get some sun. Yeah, I have not been out in the sun enough. That is a fact. Luke doesn't agree with sun. He's a ginger.
Yeah.
Mike, what's happening? Homer? Nico? Paul? Thanks for joining us.
What's up? What's up?
Like people start to filter in here and then we get into some fun.
Yeah, where are we at? PWBA Summer Series, May 27th through June 2nd.
Yeah. 3 tournaments in 1 week.
Details?
Is this like their World Series, so to speak?
I don't know. But yeah, I think so.
My cord keeps catching on my shirt. I didn't look too much into it. I will be honest, I didn't get to watch too much of the Queens. I paid attention enough. I know that Amanda, my wife, is really close with Valerie Bercier, so she was really hoping she was going to find a way to win that.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
So yeah, these tournaments are all back-to-back. So today they had for the first one, they had qualifying. Then tomorrow is going to be match play in the finals. Then Friday is going to be qualifying. Saturday is match play in the finals. Then Sunday is going to be qualifying. And Monday is match play in the finals. So if somebody does really well in these tournaments, there's 12 games of qualifying on the qualifying day. And then for the Cleveland Open, there's 8 games of round-robin match play in the first round, and then 8 more games. So you bowl 12 games for qualifying, 16 games for match play, and then cut to the top 5 for the step ladder. So could be up to 20 games on Thursday.
Wow.
And then for the next tournament, it's 12 games of qualifying on qualifying day, and then just 6 games of match play per round, so only 12 games, and then cut to top 5. And then the last one is another 12 games of qualifying, and then 2 bracket match play rounds of. Oh, there's a bracket match play round of 16, then a match play round of 8, and it's best of 5. So I think yeah, so it could be a max of 10 games and then another 4. So yeah, this is all back-to-back-to-back days. So if you have a good day at the tournament, there's 12 games, possibly 20. So that's 32 games in 2 days, and another 12, and then possibly another 16, and another 12, and then possibly another 14.
Not to sound like a jerk, but isn't 3 tournaments like basically a big chunk of their season?
Yeah, it is. It is most of their season, but it's the one stop. So I guess that's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stops, and the one stop is the Lucy, so it kind of counts.
Yeah.
And then the Tour Championship week is a handful of tournaments there, because that's 3 tournaments there. And so there's 3 tournaments. So there's 7. So another two. So there's only 11, 12 titles up for grabs this year.
And you're already two tour stops in, right? So you've got, so you said 11 titles up for grabs. So you got 9 left.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if you count the Lucy, 10, 11, 12 for the Tour Championship week. So.
They hand out a title for the Lucy, so you kind of got to count it, I guess.
Yeah, it does technically count.
So even though the PBA guys count it as a half a title.
Yeah, I am.
No, there's a Kyle Sherman they always give so much crap to because when he won that one for kind of as a half a title, he's a half champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Yep.
Did you watch? How much of the Queens did you watch?
Very, very little. I completely forgot that it was on because I saw the top 5, and then I figured Amanda would be excited because Valerie was on.
She was very excited.
And Angel got home and we fixed food and we sat down and watched Restaurant Impossible. And then I saw, Josie Barnes. I was just scrolling through Facebook later and I saw her saying, well, I'm going to eat supper tonight with the tiara on. I'm like, well, you don't have since when have you had a Queen's title? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that show was, it's like, okay, that show. Okay. Yeah. I just completely blanked the show that I was.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
We watched, actually we watched most of she watched more of it than I did. I was kind of in and out of Bull TV that week. I didn't want to get screwed up while she was trying to watch where they kick us out with both watching at the same time or anything. So, we ended up not getting able to watch the finals because Raylan had softball practice. So we were planning on sitting down. We actually thought that night that they would have got rained out. So we're like, oh yeah, we could sit down and watch the Queen show, order some dinner, whatever, cook some dinner. And then they ended up having practice. And I was like, man, bummer. She should have used an Equinox. What did she use to win? So you guys, this is part of the show. You could teach us, you guys that actually watch bowling can tell us what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. I can't remember what Josie threw. I know that however, I have no idea how Lee Jane Sin Lee Jane, her name is different every single time I read it somewhere. She was throwing an attention star in the final game that it was just one of those weird transition games that just kind of comes out of nowhere. And
Nico said an Equinox.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, on see, what am I looking? Oh, I was looking at. So far at their tournament today through game 8, Jillian Martin is leading. CT Raman, Rocio, Nora, Liana Norkamal, Shayna Ung, Stephanie Zavala, Rebecca Hagerman, Crystal Elliott, Olivia Komorowski, Julia Bond, and Shannon Payton round out the top 10. A couple ties in there, of course, but and then so yeah, I'm trying to find the story on the which is kind of interesting because Lee Jane Sin had like 78 in the 6th or something. It was just split after split after split after split. They did have it on last night, and I watched the first half of the title match, and then we had something going on. So
unacceptable.
Yep.
I don't get much time at home anymore, so
yeah,
I completely understand.
Josie had a 50-pin lead in the 6th or 7th frame, and then she only won 211 to 198. So she did. Lee Jane Sin made it a.
She came back.
Yeah, she made it interesting.
For sure.
So the title match began disastrously for Sin, opening 3 times in the first 6 frames. And Josie didn't really do anything, but she stayed clean, and I guess she had a turkey in frames 2 through 5, which that doesn't make any sense. That would be a 4-bagger. 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Um,
Math.
So yeah, I guess she had like the back six or something. Or Lee Jane Sin had the back six or something, and then Josie just bowled a good solid game and stayed in the pocket the whole time. And okay, had Valerie versus Claire Guerrero.
Yep. And Valerie lost. I know that.
Yeah. It's 237 to 233, so it was a high scoring game.
Yeah, and she shot a nice whopping 118 in Topeka on the last day of qualifying. Valerie did 118. You know what? She took it like a champ, though. I'll give her that. She owned up to it.
That's one of those.
Her and John are good people, man. They're good peeps.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes stuff just goes sideways.
You know what's crazy is she had a pretty good look before that because Amanda went up there in person, so I was able to watch on Bull TV. This is going back to the Topeka Open, and it's just crazy how something can go away so fast. Like, throwing it good. She's not wearing the wrist device that she used to wear all the time. She finally got rid of the crutch.
Yeah.
We asked her, it's like, why'd you stop wearing it? She goes, because I'm not lazy anymore. I said, touche.
She throws it really good, though. So
she throws it damn good. She actually, I could sit here watch her bowl more than 90% of the women on that tour. She just, from start to finish, is just so perfect.
Yeah, I would.
Head movement, swing, everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind throwing it like her.
I want to grow up to be just like her.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few girls. Crystal Elliott shits on it. I could sit there and watch her bowl a lot. That girl's another one that's going to be really. She's already really good, but she's only going to get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Verity throws it really good. You know, your typicals out there that throw it really good, but there's some out there that are fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, this looks like it was a really good show, so I'm kind of upset I missed it because Claire Guerrero lost to Lee Jane 238 to 236, and then I wanted to see the other woman. I hadn't seen her before.
Which one?
Nur Hariza Romley. She's a teammate of Lee Jane.
Oh,
also,
yeah,
Malaysia.
I know who you're talking about. I can picture the face, just not with the name.
Yeah, that game was 235 to 211, and then it seemed like it was over early in the championship match, but she popped back up. Just
I better not say something wrong. I'll get called out.
Yep.
I kid.
Yeah, we making sure I read the whole article.
I kid.
Since I didn't watch the show, but again, I was waiting because it was at 6:00, and I thought that's about the time that we sit down for supper. Because by the time Angel gets home, get the dogs fed, we get supper done, and then it's 6:00. And I think we just started eating a little early.
Yeah.
Or we got 5:30, 5:45, whatever else, and it wasn't on yet. And so I think it was we'll put this on until the show comes on, and then we put Restaurant Impossible on and completely just forgot about the.
It's easy to do, man. Just get glued into something and right past you. I understand. So. Now, we had every intention on watching it, but why change things now, Haas? Exactly. Why change?
Mm-hmm.
I'll never change. I'll never change.
And this is part of the other thing of what I put on this for, because with the new TV deal with CW, I imagine a lot of production things are going to change, and so we should have a fresh kind of. I meant to send Justin Wyman something and ask if he, what his contract, if his contract with the PBA or if it was with Fox, and I imagine it would be with the PBA because whether it was on, no matter what it's on, and he was doing the, because I watched a little bit of the intercollegiate, the women's team championships they had at South Point, and then they had something else at South Point too. But he did the production setup for that too, and so I think it must I don't know. It must just be an easy button for whatever network to say, okay, yeah, you do this, so just go ahead and set it up that way. They don't have to worry about it.
And if you look at the setups, the ones that he does, they're all pretty much the same, like layout.
Yeah, yeah. And they look great. They look great, but I'm not sure if what's going to change for the format, or if we need to change, or if it's just kind of I'm getting a little bored with things rather than it being boring. But
I could see him making a little change, but I mean, I thought the layout that they use now, I mean, granted it was on Fox and they made a big swing on things when they went to Fox, but especially when they started using the LED boards and everything that they're using now. Yeah. But I don't know. I could see him making some small changes, but nothing major, No. Do you like the setup? I know we're going to talk more about bowling exciting on TV, but I got to ask, do you like the setup with the big LED board in the back, or do you prefer the people behind and the people down the side?
I'm always going to look at it from the perspective of annoying the bowler. And I know if I had LED signs running down the side and people sitting down the side of the lane and whatever else, it is what it is, and you got to deal with it. That would drive me insane.
Oh, me too.
Because I would be so concentrated on, okay, don't pay attention to him, and I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I get it bad enough when we're in league and I see somebody else, if you know that somebody else has got like the front 8 or front 9 or whatever, and you happen to get up at the same time as them, and even if they're like 4 lanes over, it's still kind of like you kind of watch them out of the side of your eye, and it's like I get easily distracted anyway, but that stuff just drives me nuts. And then all the advertisements and the flashing lights and changing those every 5 seconds. And
I don't really have a preference on it. I like the old school. I do like the old school people sit behind the bowlers.
Mm-hmm.
But I also really think that the big giant LED board was really freaking cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just made it pop.
My favorites were always the big arena shows.
Oh yeah,
in the 90s when they were at Mohegan Sun and whatever else, and you set up the 4 lanes, and then everybody is around the sides and whatever else, but they're down lower. They're not like right there next to the lane.
Don't tell that to Randy Peterson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I see you. Good job, buddy. I see you all the way up there, and you're so far up there that I've got to yell to talk to you.
Yeah, you pal. I'm talking to you. Happy birthday to Randy Peterson today. I just happened to notice before we got on it was his birthday, which everybody that watches this show loves Randy Peterson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nico, yes, Jesper did win over the weekend. I was not surprised by that because of the whole playoffs he threw it really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's riding some pretty good momentum too.
Yeah,
towards the end of the season.
It's always a shocker when EJ doesn't win anymore these days. So I guess you could say, that was maybe a shocker, but it is always nice to see somebody else win every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's got to be a damn lefty, but hey.
Yeah, and even I didn't watch any of that, and I didn't watch it. I wasn't interested in watching. It's not like the Queens thing where I just zoned out on the show that I wanted to watch. I didn't want to watch any of the tour finals. It just didn't seem interesting. I guess it probably should have been, but
I wanted to watch the finals and I didn't watch because it was Fox's last show. So I was wanting to see if they did anything special. I doubt it. It probably went off the air with no mention of this is our last show on doing bowling. And I mean, I can see why Fox wanted IndyCar. I mean, their presentation of the Indy 500 was amazing. So too many damn commercials, but other than that.
I just didn't really, and especially because it was so long and drawn out. It's like I'm not going to keep track of this over like the 4-week span that they're trying to drag out these just few single matches. And
it wasn't as bad as it was a couple of years ago. Remember when it was a couple of years ago? It felt like the tour finals went off.
Yeah, it was 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, it felt like they were going 2 months, and we're like, okay, I'm over this. We don't even want to talk about it anymore.
It's like the NBA playoffs. As soon as they start, it's like, I'm just not going to pay attention for 3 months. I'll catch up with it when they get closer to the.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next weekend is the tour finals in Bethlehem.
Yeah.
We'll probably turn it on. don't think I have anything going this weekend.
Yeah, I might if it's just one freaking show.
I think it is. Like, it might be 2 days.
It's just one or maybe two shows. If it's two shows, I don't care because I kind of like the way that they did the U.S. Open. They have the. I'm not a big fan of the way they do it though, because nobody's. If they do the top 9 and they have the 5 through 9 seeds, and then the winner of that is the 5th seed for the next show. Nobody in the 8th or 9th position is going to run that step ladder, so that's kind of dumb.
No way. I mean, if you earned it, if you do, you better get a bonus.
I do like the concept of those shows, but I still prefer the eliminator format. There's too much dumb shit that can happen in a single game match.
Yeah.
And if you have the eliminator format where you have 4 or 5 bowlers and the top, only the lowest score drops off each game, I kind of like that because it's easier to hide a couple bad transition frames.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but there's no way in hell they'll do that for the U.S. Open.
No, not for something like that. They've got to do the traditional step ladder thing, but I just think it's kind of dumb for. I don't, and there's really no good way to. The way that golf does it is the best, but the scores are lower and they stay in a tighter range. And so if you just do high qualifying score wins, and then we get to the TV show and it's like, well, Anthony Simonson has a 500 pin lead, so he's going to win, and we're just have to bowl the last game. We're just going to kind of watch this out for the sake of it.
Yeah, I did like that the Masters this year though did the double elimination. Mm-hmm. So the guy that's in the 1 seed had to lose twice finally. Mm-hmm. I think we've complained about that over the years a lot, and they finally was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. It is the format, and
it's double elimination.
And guess what? It came into play.
Yeah,
it came into play. It should be that you earned it. Your right to get there. You should have to lose twice to lose the title.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go through the winner's bracket and everybody else lost twice, but you only lost once, and you're sorry, technicality.
Yes, in 2011-12, they did do the eliminator format for the World Championship. I'd like to see it because Luke is right. I mean, anything can happen in a 1v1, one game head-to-head match play. Mm-hmm. One game, one bad shot can cost you a whole game. So, and you get knocked out off that, it just isn't right.
Or you have the one random person that has the big game. How many times did Walter Ray have 300 shot at him on TV?
A lot. Be careful. This is going to turn into an argument match in the comments afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, Walter Ray had I think several of them shot at him, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I know at least multiple, right?
Yeah, he has at least 2 or 3, because I know it was Norm Duke and it was. I can't remember the other one, but I think that there's some other ones that he's had in finals matches that may not necessarily be televised, but he's had 300 shot at him several times in finals matches.
Yeah. And
so it just doesn't seem right to do all those rounds of qualifying, and then it would be like the PGA has the sudden death holes, but it's like the entire finals is sudden death. And it'd be like, instead of getting to the final round, then it's like, so, if you have, and it just hitting the reset button is kind of crazy. So like Scotty Scheffler just won the US Open here a couple weeks ago.
No, he won the PGA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he won that by however many, like 5 strokes or whatever. So the PBA is basically like, instead of him dominating the field and winning, it would be like, okay, well, we're going to take the top 5 players now, and we're going to have sudden death playoff holes. So 4 will play 5, and no matter what your score is. And then Scotty, even though he beat the field by 5 or 6 strokes, it's like, okay, well, if you get a bad bounce on something on a playoff hole, then you can lose after dominating everybody the entire weekend.
Yeah. Hence why in golf, I think the best format is the U.S. Open, mm-hmm. where if you do tie after, was it 64 holes or whatever it is, or however many the days, it's 4 days, so 18, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you do tie, there is an 18-game sudden death or 18-hole sudden death playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's when you're playing for a major championship, that's the best way to determine a winner, because like you just said, one hole, you take a bad bounce, kick into the water, kicks into the rough. Another guy gets a good bounce, he's into the fairway, vice versa. It makes a huge difference because you're either set up for, in tip-top shape, I can make a good shot here, or you're sitting in a bad lie too. You got lies to think about.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that those big tournaments like that there should be uniqueness to them.
Yeah. And it's you're going to have bad holes. You're going to have bad games. It's a whole lot easier to, make up for that.
Yeah.
In longer formats. And so that's why the bowlers always prefer longer formats, because if you're bowling well, or if you're bowling better than everybody else, you alleviate or you get rid of somebody getting on a hot streak or somebody catching a bad pair. I mean, at some tournaments, you catch we have some, 6-game sweepers around here. And if you catch a bad pair, you're just done. And which for a sweeper, it's fine. That it is what it is. But when you're talking about a professional tournament and catching a bad pair, or, finding the magic ball in game 3 instead of in game 1.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of factors that go into it. And then it's just, I'm not sure that there's any good way to do it. And I'm not sure that the kind of super exciting, like bouncing off the walls and not that I mind Packy getting hyped or Kyle Troop getting hyped, because it's fun to watch and whatever else. It just, I'm not sure if that's necessarily the direction to go.
Yeah.
For something like bowling.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I don't know if it's Justin mentioned something about going back to the more quiet, like golf or whatever. But the problem with that is that there's white noise. If everything's quiet, then you can hear absolutely everything going on. It's a whole lot easier to get distracted than when there's, because golf is normally quiet like 100% of the time. Bowling, when you're in qualifying, the whole place is noisy and you can't hear anything. But all of a sudden, when you get into a finals match and there's only one person bowling at a time, it's just dead, absolute silent. And it's such a change. Golf is always quiet, so you're always going to be dealing with the bird chirping, or whatever else, or just random crowd noises and stuff.
Or your teammate eating blueberries out of the tree.
Yeah.
Is it blueberries?
Yeah, golf is consistent. Bowling is not. It's super loud until you're the only one bowling, and then it's just dead silent, and it just doesn't work. I think you get used to it, and I don't really think you mind. I think that if it had to happen, Packy would be okay with it, but he would much prefer people cheering and being loud, and I would prefer the same thing. It's like, going ahead and cheer, and especially, again, we were talking about the people down the side. Please be up, moving, and shaking your signs and whatever else. I don't want to be in the middle of my approach and have somebody decide to cross their leg at the wrong time. And
yeah,
it's like, please just get up and jump around, wave your signs, whatever else.
Just have a pair of Ryan Miller's bowled next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. I have to let that guy go in front of me.
What's that?
So just have a pair of Ryan Miller's bowl everywhere around you.
Yeah.
You'll never be distracted. I have to let him go every time. It doesn't matter. He gets 2 lanes, he gets 3 lanes. I don't care.
Yeah.
He's just so far in front of me, I can't stand it.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten used to it. But if it's different, if I'm shooting a 7-pin, I let him go first because I need all my concentration.
Richard Allen's the same way. I let him go too.
Yeah, he does get pretty far up there.
Nothing against these guys, but it just
but it's just when we're talking about distractions, it's one of those things that or if Butters is going up there, you just let him go on ahead and go.
Yeah. So the guy we were talking about, where I was talking about with Ryan Miller, he bowls in Lawrence in our draft league on Thursdays, and he's a one-stepper, and he actually throws it really good as a one-stepper, and he has the ball speed and the rev rate for it, so it works out. I just wish the announcers would go back to how it was done on ABC in the 90s and talk a little between shots and shut up when the bowler starts to think about getting on the approach. Yeah. I can get into this. I listened to what was it, Monday morning? It was Memorial Day morning. They had the men's intercollegiate championships on. It was Wichita State versus I don't remember who it was. Anyways, I think it was Kelly Kulick that was doing the commentary for it.
Mm-hmm.
And she treats it like golf so much. Like,
I
okay, Wichita State here. If they get 9, they can add a little pressure. And then she starts talking about tilt and all this stuff. And you're like, people that are watching this right now really don't give a shit about tilt. They just want you to talk about stuff that they're going to understand.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about announcers a couple weeks ago on the show, and that was one of those where Kelly's great, but I have a hard time listening to her because, again, like you said, it's
she sounds like a golf broadcast.
Yeah, it's a golf broadcaster, and she gets, and this is coming from me, she gets way too technical about things, but it's just like she's trying too hard, and it's the same thing I said last time. She just tries too hard. She's just not, and I appreciate Randy's style of commentary. I don't appreciate Randy or his commentary or his actual commentary, but I appreciate the style. He's a lot more laid back with it, and he does try to dumb it down. Unfortunately, sometimes he just doesn't know what he's talking about. And so that's a little difficult. But of course, sometimes we don't know what we're talking about. Of course, I'm not being paid to be a professional broadcaster. So there's difference, but it's just, she's a little tough to listen to. Carolyn, love Carolyn, but she's a little difficult to listen to. Sydney Brummett is ridiculously good.
She is good, yeah.
She was doing the sideline reporting for the women's collegiate stuff.
Yep.
And whenever she's on Bowl TV or whatever else, she's good. She's just got it. She needs to be given a microphone more as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do like Tom Hess does and on Bowl TV when she's out. If she starts getting more airtime, I don't know. They should. Because Emil does most of the Bowl TV stuff on the women's side, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Emil does a really good job, too.
Yeah, he's established. Everybody, or I think most people should know Emil, and he's been good for a long time. So he's already kind of in there. But
he does his own streaming stuff on the side, for those that don't know, like Flanagan does.
Yeah.
His is called Bowl Stream TV, I believe is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
He does stuff like the New Mexico Open and big tournaments like that he does. So like Flanagan's always got the 10K doubles. He always does the Midnight Bowler Society, the Ebonite Iowa, the Winter Classic and the Fall Classic. And then what's the other one I'm missing? Oh, the Holiday Doubles. Doubles.
Yeah.
Emil does like the New Mexico Open. He does a lot of stuff out on the West Coast. I know he does, but Emil's really good. He's really, really good. Oh, he also does the Bradley. Emil does the Bradley.
Oh, okay.
Yep. At the Queen, Sydney was roaming around integrating people after match Bowl TV. That's good. Yeah, she does a good job. Isn't she the one that has caught a lot of shit here over the years?
Yeah, I don't necessarily like her because she is on the board for USBC, or she worked for USBC in some form or fashion. And when the whole shit came out about the lane conditions, she was, I didn't see anything wrong, and whatever else. She's been in hot water for a few things, and that was a year and a half ago. But that notwithstanding, she's good at announcing, and so I'm the kind of person that can separate people from that. It's like I don't really like what she did in this situation, but she's a great announcer. So
yeah, didn't she also make some dumb comments or something here a few years ago that really rubbed some of the women the wrong way?
Yeah, there was some other something that she got in the middle of, and
she put foot in mouth. Emil was just a Texas streaming Ironman. I did actually watch a little bit of the Ironman. You'd be proud of me, Nico. I had it on because a buddy of ours was bowling in it, so I decided to turn it on and watch it. Riley Patton. So yes, Emil did the Ironman. Thank you.
I think it needs to stay technical. Otherwise, you have the guy whose high game is 215 who thinks he can be a pro bowler relating one game of bowling to a whole round of golf. Yeah, there was a video. Did you see that video where the guy is like, well, technically, I'm like a pro bowler. I'll have to find it because Sweep the Rack shared that. Let's see if I can find that.
Was this like on social media or something that was posted?
Yeah. Sweep the Rack.
This cord is going to piss me off. Sorry.
Let's see if I can.
I am letting a cord make me mad. I'm emotional. My sound keeps cutting in and out too. I'm going to try something here. If this messes up my sound, I apologize. It did not. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I've got my wireless transmitters on, so. And one of them's getting low, so I figured I'd charge it. Sydney's great. She has her Rash moments, though. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she does. I see Sean's old free agent now, and he's throwing a little bit of everything. Gosh, this cord. He's was throwing a Evoke Hysteria I saw the other day. Primal Rage. There, I moved that cord. Hopefully that helps. Looked like he was throwing quite a bit of most stuff. He made some jerseys, so I'm halfway wondering if he's actually intending on going into next year being a free agent. I think it's a little far-fetched to think of that right now, but
okay, let's see
I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but I'm watching a little pro bowling this morning. The playoff semifinals of the PBA. Here's what I see. 211 to 190. Actually, this ends up being 210 final score. Is something harder about professional bowling? Do they make the lanes harder? Are they slippier? Is there something going on? Because my best game bowling is a 215. And I've probably, on average in my life, I would say bowled 3 to 4 times per year. Not a lot. Didn't consider myself very good at it. But if you're telling me, like, I could enter a pro bowling tournament and, like, my best would be good enough to win a match, that's crazy. Because I think of other sports like golf. I've golfed way more than I've ever bowled. Way more. And I am not even in the same vicinity as professional golfers. Like, not even close. But I guess with bowling, if I just went and was feeling good that day, I could be a professional. I have this little bit that I do where I always say I could have gone pro in these sports, or like any time of professional sports, like, yeah, I could have gone pro. It's like a 94% a joke, but with bowling, I don't know. Like, I'm genuinely curious.
so he can
yeah, I didn't
he
see
can
that.
FAFO, as they like to say.
Yeah, Keith Austin shared that to the Sweep the Rack page, and yeah, it went viral. And
You're talking about the other Sweep the House Rack page, the one that shares all the pictures.
yeah. No, House Hack, the House Hack V2 shared it to Sweep the Rack, and this guy got all kinds of shit. And he didn't even sound like it. Again, he prefaced it. He's like, I'm not talking trash. It's like, I don't understand. I'm confused. And most people don't even think that far. They just think, oh gosh, well, I was just out there chugging it down the middle and I shot 215. I can be a pro. And this guy is stopping to think. He's like, the math isn't mathing. So you're telling me that I never bowl and I can just go out there and if I have a decent day, I can compete as a professional? That doesn't sound right. Please tell me what's going on. And of course, bowlers being bowlers, he got a whole rash of shit for it. And I guess he put out, there was some other, he was getting trolled. And so he made a response. He made a response to that. I don't really need to see that, but he
can go enter a professional tournament and find out.
Well, this is the other thing that that we were talking about maybe the last time too, about when conditions, or we've talked about it before, when we're talking about lane conditions, when they get so difficult that it kind of breaks the game, it doesn't really make any sense. Because when we were the Round Ball Classic last year, Smallwood always puts an Uber team together so that he can get his trophy. But one of the former football players from KU that never bowls, he was horsing around the first game, and then he figured out, it's like, man, if I just go get one of these heavy balls and just launch it down the middle, the guy shot like 230 the last game. just launching a 15-pound house ball down the middle. And of course, former football player, so the guy is like 6'4", 275. But he just launched it down the middle, and it's one of those things to where it's like, so why do you see people? And again, we can talk about the Valerie Bercier shooting the 180 or whatever. If she would have taken her spare ball and thrown it down the middle and picked up all her spares, she would have shot a whole lot more than 118 that game.
Yeah.
But we as bowlers are kind of conditioned to make bowling shots. And so even if we're in the middle of a 130, 140, 150 game, like us in Swiss Trios last year, if we would have all just thrown the ball straight down the middle and picked up our spares, we might have done really well.
Why didn't we do it?
We're conditioned as bowlers to make bowling shots. So we have to do it the right way.
If it happens again, you bet your ass I'm going to do it.
Yeah. If we're having a bad day one, we're done with this. I'm just going to chuck it down the middle, pick up some. Well, the problem was we couldn't pick up spares, but I think we would have a whole lot easier spares to pick up.
Yeah.
5 pins, you would think 5 pins are pretty easy to pick up.
I mean, I thought the 24810 was pretty easy personally.
Yeah. I mean, you just keep leaving that, and you'd have been fine.
Had I covered that thing like 5 times that day?
I actually haven't. I haven't unfollowed House Hack 1.0.
I just did.
Stuff's really funny.
Now I'm going to follow it again.
Really good. So I thoroughly enjoy that page actually.
Speaking of Rash, he appeared to bowl pretty good at a regional as a free agent. Do you think he'll sign with Motive or wild card like Swag? I'm sure that since he's with Kulik, I'm sure Cliff has probably hooked him up with something.
He's probably tried some stuff out, and there might be the Swag relaunch went really well for them, and I would think that they are going to try. Well, and it really depends. It really depends too. I don't know if they want to put that kind of money into it just to be back on the PBA, and it might. Again, it didn't really work out for them when they did the Anthony Lavery Spar thing. But because really, I mean, you have to hope you're doing that to hope that somebody gets on TV, even just once. Yeah. If he gets on TV once and throws some swag balls and wins a match, he doesn't even have to win the tournament. He's just got to be on there and show him off a couple times, and that'll do wonders.
It's 56,000 followers now. That's because of the content they post is so good.
That's the thing, though. If you try to run an honest bowling website or an honest bowling page or something, nobody cares. But if you just put a bunch of random crazy videos up there, it's like, oh yeah, we got all kinds of followers now. So,
I finally unfollowed it. I think I might like it again.
Yeah,
go back to it. But yeah, I mean, I don't see him going into the season being a full-blown free agent. I could be wrong. I just think he's going to end up signing somewhere to have some stability, personally. But
I think Motive's probably the best fit because I think Motive reacts best on the tour because it's early, it's smooth, it's controllable, and it just fits all the stuff that they bowl on. And Sean doesn't really like urethane. They don't have any actual urethane. And so I think that it would be a really good – I think that the ball reaction would be a really good fit for him.
Yeah.
To kind of bring him back on tour because I don't think the Storm stuff for the last couple of years really hasn't been helping him out. Now on the flip side, for somebody like Mitch Shupe, he wasn't helped out by Brunswick at all because he rolls the ball so early and so heavy. He would be a disaster on Motive. But with Storm stuff being a little cleaner and weaker, he can just bang on it at the body. It doesn't matter if it just makes the ball do the right thing in the right part of the lane for him. So it's helped out Mitch quite a bit. He actually shot 837 in the Bowler's Journal.
Saw that
days ago. And so he's got the lead in that now, but he's also got the top 2 spots with his doubles partners now too. So
gonna make some money.
Yeah, he's gonna have a big payday. So
Yeah, he's gonna make some money. I'm looking forward to that check. Or journal check. Got a while, but I see your. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, Motive's the only option. He burned all the other bridges. I'm not sure he burned the Brunswick Bridge.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
I don't think that he burned. He did burn the SPI bridge, but I don't think he burned the Brunswick Bridge. I had a sandwich.
He could definitely. I think he's going to go with the Motive side of things personally. Because he's posted a lot of videos of him throwing Motive stuff. So he must be really, really taking a good hard look at it. So
yeah, I've seen him throw several of them.
Yeah.
So I would think that that's probably the direction he's leaning.
Yeah.
That would offer him the most stability. At this point, I would say even if Cliff did offer him a swag thing, it's not. I don't think he's at the point in his career where he wants to. It's not a Marshall Kent big bowling thing where you're still relatively young and earlier in your career and you can afford to take be the face of a brand. I don't think he's not in face of a brand
territory.
His career anymore. He wants something to where it's like I want something stable that I can pad my resume with for the last couple of years where I'm really competitive. And then hopefully, have a head of steam going into the PBA 50 tour. But so
yes, sir. Because how old is he now?
If he's not my age, he's really close. I'm not sure he's 40 yet, but if he's not, he's awful close.
Well, he's got that back injury that he deals with, isn't it? Isn't it his back?
Yeah.
Thought so, but I couldn't remember. I'm sure the PBA website tells me.
Oh, yeah, he's 42. No, his birthday is actually a week after mine, August 22nd.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, August 22nd, 82. So he's almost exactly a year younger than I am.
You're old.
Yeah.
Old.
I knew he was about the same age because he was in college with he was getting into college right after Russ and them were getting out. Russ and Jay and them.
Yeah.
So
sounds right. Did I see you're going to the Ozarks this weekend?
Yep.
When do you guys leave, tomorrow or?
We're leaving Friday morning.
Sweet.
So we got the house at Shady Acre, and so we're gonna have a little. Actually, Brian Zachary is bowling with us now. I know you don't really remember.
I know Brian Zachary. He ran the shop in Topeka for a long time.
Yeah. He's gonna bowl with us now because we had a couple late dropouts, and we had several late dropouts actually, and then we even had to get two kids from Wichita State that our guy that's one of the coaches for Midland kind of got us in touch with. We kind of daisy chained this frickin' thing. It's like, okay, well, somebody knows somebody, and then somebody knows somebody, and then somebody's roommate. It's like I don't know who they are. They're going to Wichita State. So
did he who did you pick up from Wichita? You don't know the names?
I can't even remember the names right now.
No, that's no big deal. I was just curious. Are you what squads are you bowling? Saturday, Sunday, obviously, but where are you bowling first and what times?
I think we're bowling 12:30 both days.
Okay, so 12:30 team. Are you bowling team on Saturday or team on Sunday?
We're bowling team on Saturday, I'm pretty sure.
Team on Saturday. So I'm just going to throw this out there, and I'm sure you've heard this already, but the team event pattern hooks way more than you would expect. When you look at the pattern volume or the pattern with the amount of volume and the length, you're thinking, I mean, we got to the point where we were going to do a nationals game plan. Like we talked about it, like, are we going to throw surface up 5, 10 to try and burn up a spot on the gutter? And then we threw some shots in practice. We're like, oh shit, this actually hooks.
I've got, okay. So, Jackson Wingington.
Don't know the name.
And Ryan Kalibik. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know either of them.
No. Are they younger freshmen, maybe? Younger guys?
Yeah, they're both younger guys. Let me see.
Getting ready to start discussing it, Storm. We're actually discussing it now.
Yeah, we're bowling team. Team is at noon.
Yep.
And then Sunday we're bowling at 1:30.
Okay.
So we're gonna get into town and check into the hotel, and then we're gonna go down to the landing and then do the go-karts and mini golf and whatever else on the strip. And
1:30 Sunday squad. But
yeah,
you're probably staying until Monday, aren't you?
yeah, we're going to
Okay.
Color City on Monday, and then we're doing some stuff on Tuesday and coming home Tuesday. So yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Now you'll. I actually was fortunate enough to go. The group that's leading team event right now, or the team that's leading team event, was on my pair, and they're in our group. So that's Trevor Dillon, Johnny, Andy Sykes, and James Butcher were on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been leading since, because we went week 3 of the tournament. They've been leading since week 3. And if you look at what they shot, I don't know if anybody's going to beat them.
Yeah, I might have to look that up.
It wasn't a huge number, but it's enough where you look at it up to this point and you're going, it's probably going to win. And if they do hold on and win, that's for Trevor and Dylan. That means they will win the team event in Southwest and the team event in Ozarks.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice payday.
Yeah.
I got it right here. Current standings. You can pull it up, but team event right here.
Lions Squirrel. Yeah, 35-27.
35-27, yep.
They got handicap.
They did.
Yeah.
It's because of Springfield. Everybody got handicapped.
Yeah.
Well, Dylan didn't get any handicap. Trevor didn't get a handicap. Johnny got a little bit. Andy Sykes got some. For those that don't know who Andy Sykes is, he's the guy that owns Amplify. Amplify is the gym that's in Wichita that's becoming a national brand, so to speak.
Yeah, they're 40 pins up on second place, and it's really hard to score there. So you shoot 35, you shouldn't even have to worry about it. And team always used to be the one that it didn't take a big number to win. Doubles and singles used to be if you didn't shoot. If you were thinking about winning the combine, you needed to shoot 1,600 plus.
Well,
it took 1,600 plus to win the 6-game combine.
Leading doubles right now is 1548.
Yeah, which is a solid score, but yeah, it's
singles is 840 in singles.
Yeah, but the scratch total was 680.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
but the one thing I'm going to tell you is both the team event pattern and the house pattern, although they look quite a bit different on paper and numbers, they actually play very similar. I think you're going to do a lot of the same things that you did on Saturday at Sunshine. You'll do a lot of the similar things on Sunday as well.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to mull over what I'm taking. I'm going to take one shiny ball just to. Did
you get rid of your Effect Tour, or you still have it?
Angel is getting my Effect Tour, but I have resurfaced some things, and so I drilled my magenta hammer, which is just a magenta purple hammer. It's just different color, same ball. I'm taking that, and I'm taking a black hammer. I was going to take some other urethane stuff, but it was what I ended up kind of using because nothing else really looked that good last year, but it didn't look that great itself. But I'm taking those two. I'm taking my Jackal Onyx, my Evoke, and my Venom Shock. And then...
Did you ever drill a hammerhead?
Yeah, I drilled a hammerhead. That's not going because I had something else. What was... I think that was stealth mode. My stealth mode. Because I've got a few different options going on with those. And then I think that the new Ethos Solid, I'm still debating on taking that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that back because I think that's going to overlap my shock too much. And then I'm going to end up taking Parallax just as a shiny, smoother, stronger option. So if surface isn't it, because I don't normally do this. Normally I don't throw balls long enough to have to resurface them or anything. But I've had to change some grips and some balls. My stealth mode I've used so much that it was getting that kind of dead feeling to it.
Yeah.
Where it's still fine, but it's just I've got so many games on it, and the cover just needed to be refreshed. And so I thought, well, I need a few different options in case like straight up the lane doesn't work. So if I don't have straight up the lane with an Evoke or with the Onyx or the Venom Shock or whatever, the stealth mode, something I can get in and bend it a little bit. Kind of like what I did in City or whatever, Lawrence City, where Trevor shimwrecked me and I had to play fourth arrow with it. So if I do need to do that kind of a deal, I don't, the Onyx and the Shock and the Evoke aren't going to be get inside balls. But if I put them on the resurfacing machine and they're all at 1,000 now. And so if surface doesn't work or it's not the answer and urethane's not the answer, I would be screwed. So I think I am going to take that shiny Parallax because it's kind of right in the middle. It's a very strong cover, but it's also kind of smooth. So I think it's kind of the right answer for if nothing else is working, I should at least have something to work with that.
Surprised you're not taking a Theorem.
My Theorem was dead a long time ago. I replaced that with the Black Widow Mania. And on something like that, it's just never going to break down far enough because we're going to be on the... Now, there are a couple of lefties. I think one of the Wichita kids is a lefty and then BZ is a lefty. And so it might be a little different this year. So I might actually have to move a little bit. But we'll have to see what happens with that. But it just I never throw shiny. If it's not league, I don't throw anything. I just can't throw anything shiny because they'll just never break down.
Yeah.
But in the case that something does happen, I don't know if this kid's a two-hander or if he throws it like me or what. So
2025, and if he's under the age of 21, 95% chance they're both going to be two-handers.
I think he's probably a lefty two-hander.
Yeah,
which I would be fine with. But I need to take a few different options, and I looked at drilling something too. But it just I can't take anything shiny, and I have options for like I'm staring at. I got an Ion Max. What was the other one that I got? Origin. I got an Ion Max and an Origin. I thought about drilling those, but I'm like, well, the Origin's not too far off of a Parallax. The Parallax is going to be a little bit more controllable, I think. And the Ion Max, I've got a Jackal Onyx. I looked at drilling a DNA, but I've got an Evoke. So it's just, I'm like, well, I could drill something just for the sake of it, but I've already got stuff that just needed some time on the resurfacing machine, and all that stuff's going to be back in good shape.
Parallax makes me crave. I don't recall. I'd like to see him throw an Origin too. So
I would like to drill it. It's just I've got several things on the chopping block, but I've still got my Halo Burn that needs holes in it because it's 7 years old now. I need to put holes in that first. But yeah, I'd really like to throw the Origin because it looks great. I've just got way too many other balls. I just can't really justify it yet. So
yeah, I get it. Makes sense. But no, you guys are going to have a good time. I'm just telling you, just be prepared that they're going to play quite a bit similar than they look to each other for both centers. I think it was the first time I've seen that in a long time where they were really close.
Yeah.
And like I said, we all went in on Saturday at team event thinking they're going to be super tight because of the volume and the length, and they really weren't. And I killed myself by trying to play them too long. I finally started scoring once I made a big zone change and just jumped way left. So
yeah, I think that they played fairly similar for us last year too. I think the year before when we had gone, I can't remember. We've had our own group. This will be a third year of our own group, but I think the last year that you and I went together, they've played kind of similar the last several years, but they've also changed up the patterns quite a bit too. So.
Yeah, that was the Amanda Hospital year, so I didn't know how Enterprise played that year.
Yeah.
I didn't have the luxury because Amanda decided to go to the hospital. Like, what a loser.
And then I don't really want to remember the last year that we bowled doubles together and we both sucked.
Yeah, we did bowl bad.
So I wasn't paying enough attention that year.
I'll be honest with you. I've never gone down there and really had success. I bowled good down there a couple times. It's very rare, very rare. Enterprise, I don't, or Sunshine, I just don't match up well. I think my high set in that place is like 680 over all the years I bowled there. And then Enterprise is hit or miss. I've had some good sets in there, and I've had some bad sets in there.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I've had a couple. Like I've shot 700 once at the team house, but that was the only time I was on the lower. Like we were on 15 and 16, and we were told the wrong time, and so we actually got there a little bit late. I didn't get any practice and shot like 190 the first game, and I think it was, 230, 270 the last two games to even pull that out. But every other time, if I shoot over 600 in the team house, that's a great success. Great success.
yeah, I think I shot like 605. It wasn't anything. Like I said, I beat my head against the wall early, just trying to force feed them up the gutter instead of just getting left and getting in there left where everybody else was. But we were on 3 and 4 for the team event, so we were actually on when you walk in and go to the left.
Oh yeah,
we always get shoved on the high end, which is on the come in and turn right.
Yeah, we always bowl on the high end. So
we were on 3 and 4 though, so maybe you'll get lucky and get the bowl over there.
Yeah, and then I had 1 year in singles and doubles where I shot 180 the first game, and then my low game the next 5 was 256 or something like that. It was
nice.
Unreal. Like I literally won every single bracket the second set.
It's pretty nice.
Swept them.
I mean, I shot like a 6-0, and like I said, I made money in brackets at Enterprise or at Sunshine. I mean.
That's the thing. If I can go, if anybody in general, if you can go into the team house and go 210, 210, 210 scratch and scratch and scratch brackets, the handicap brackets might get a little wild, but still the scores are not that. It's a tough place. It's just tough. But if you get in scratch brackets and you go 210, 210, 210, you're probably doubling up.
Dylan shot like 770. I think he won everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he walked out of there with like $2,500 or more, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you have you don't even have to have a good set. You don't even have to have a decent set. You just have to keep your head above water, and you're going to make some money in brackets.
Now, those guys did that are leading team event. I'll be honest with you, they did go to Sunshine or Enterprise, and they did struggle. They struggled very bad. They were also on the high end, the last pair on the high end.
Yeah, and that's kind of a pair to pair place too. So
it wasn't. It didn't look fun. They couldn't carry anything, but they said the same thing. They thought they played similar. They just on a pair they couldn't get away with anything. So
yeah, and that goes back to the whole bowling scoring thing being weird and the single game matches. It's like if you go to a tournament once a year and if you end up on a bad pair, it's like it's like okay, we'll see you next year.
Yeah. Springfield's not my favorite tournament to go to anymore. I used to really enjoy bowling it, but
yeah, I don't think it's ever been my favorite tournament to bowl. We just always make a vacation out of it, and so I'm excited to go down there, but bowling is just kind of in the way. It's the excuse to get us there for the vacation, and we'll go put up with it as long as we have to bowl. But I really don't want to spend my time bowling down there.
No, I don't blame you on that. I mean, we always go do some fun things like Springfield Brewery. If you've never gone there, you've gone there with me.
Yeah. That's actually we're going there on Sunday after we're done.
Smart man.
So yeah.
Somebody got Johnny and I didn't get the pizza last time. I got a French dip. That was something I didn't have there before. And somebody next to us got a pizza because it was just Johnny and I went. And oh my gosh, that pizza looks phenomenal. So I highly suggest somebody in the group try a pizza and report back to me how good it was because I'll get it next year.
Yeah, and I've only been there the one time that we were there with you, so I think I have to get the jambalaya again because I remember how good that was.
You were sweating your ass off.
Yeah, I know. It was hot, but boy, it was worth it.
Luke turned redder than he already is. Yeah. I think he was redder than his hair.
Yeah.
It was funny though because I'm sitting there trying to talk to him, and he's like, "Whew." Looked like me when we did the hot wing challenge.
Yeah. Try to catch up with the comments. I think.
I think we pretty much got through a topic, so we can kind of BS now.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so talking about I think Keith Househack has it right with the Sean Rash and Brunswick situation is, it was kind of they burnt the bridge one direction and he just torched it from his end, but I think it was started on their side, or he'd been with them forever, and it was one of those things where it would be like because Jason Couch has been with Ebonite forever, and it'd be one of those things where if he wins all that stuff and then it's contract time and he says, okay, well, what can we do? And they're like, well, we don't really have it in the budget. Sorry. It was like, wait, what? And so it's like, fine, okay. Well, I've been with you guys. I mean, Sean was with Brunswick forever. I mean,
Yeah, I think he started with them from when he was at Wichita State days, because they used to be a Brunswick school.
Yeah, in college, and then all this stuff. I mean, he came out and he was huge on tour for however long, and then to just basically say, "Oh well, we'll take you. Well, here's what your offer is. Take it or leave it," and whatever.
I remember the big Brunswick from Brunswick to 900 Global announcement. Didn't we actually talk about it on our show?
Yeah,
A decent amount. I'm pretty sure we did, and we were like, "Holy shit, is this real?"
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, you're catching up with the comments. Go ahead. This was pretty good though. He did say, "Sounds like you're listening to Bowling Tips of the Day on the House Hack 1.0 that day." It's a good one. Touche.
Yeah.
Best channel in bowling. You guys need to check it out.
Yeah, we did. We were just starting to talk Ozarks. That question. Wheel of Time got canceled. Yeah, I think Justin and I have talked about this before. The Wheel of Time show on Amazon. I've read the books for 20 some odd years now, and the show is just an absolute travesty. And I need to celebrate it getting canceled. Actually, author's rolling over in his grave. Yeah, we did talk about Mitch with the triplicate 279. From my understanding on the Rash Brunswick situation, he tried to renegotiate his contract because he was the face of the company, and even his face on the box, and was told it wasn't in the budget. And this was basically around the time during the merger, basically how the B7 and Classic deal went down, and they let go of some staffers. So yeah, they were. So it was one of those deals where they. And again, everybody else that's been the face of a brand, like EJ got paid, Belmo's got paid, and Sean didn't. So, wonder how the new Super Cuda Pearl, we dodged that bullet, so won't be seeing the Super Cuda. I'm sure it's a good ball, but nobody cares about Columbia balls. Especially the Super Cuda Pearl. Sorry, but
wasn't the Super Cuda actually pretty good?
I didn't like the one that just came out of last year. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't a good fit for me, and it just kind of smooth and didn't do a whole lot. And so, and the problem with Brunswick right now is that everything is great, but nobody cares. And so from my perspective, it's like, I wish I was still drilling I wish I was still drilling all 7 brands, but I can't throw them all, and nobody wants to watch them for some reason. So it was a whole lot of time for just to get 1,500 views on a video. And
yeah, makes sense.
All the stuff's good. I mean, I definitely am excited to drill Brunswick stuff and the Brunswick brands stuff. And the Ethos Solid is really weird. It's really good, but it's really weird. It doesn't hook very much, and I think that they kind of unintentionally finally bridge the gap between urethane and reactive. Because they keep trying to do it with stuff like, or they keep trying to make urethane that's not urethane with like a New Blue or a Level or something like that. And then all the stuff that's kind of smoother, and it just never really quite works. But this ball's like a slightly more responsive microcell ball. It's like between microcell and a Venom Shock or something. Or it was like a symmetric Evoke. That's kind of what it feels like. It's just...
Yeah. The new Paragon Shadow looks really good.
Yeah, it's very smooth, and it doesn't hook off the planet. And so it's like, okay, well, this is going to be a team ball at Nationals. The Paragon Shadow does look ridiculous too, though.
I wonder who was considered the face of B7. Fa? I wouldn't say Fa.
I don't know. That's kind of...
It's a tough one.
That's kind of tricky because you've got a lot of really good bowlers, but I don't know that there's any...
I mean, Bill O'Neill's would come to mind.
Yeah.
Since he is a B7 staffer, Bill O'Neill would probably get a recognition over Fall on that.
Maybe say Packy.
Packy could be just because of his social media presence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think.
There's probably somebody really obvious that we're forgetting about. It's gonna.
Yeah,
one of those.
Somebody's gonna tell us how after this video's done.
Yeah, after the video's done. Gosh, I just can't believe that you didn't think of so and so.
Stupid me, right? Gosh,
yeah, all right.
Couldn't believe it. Man, that one's gonna get me.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody that we're just not thinking about. Let me see. PBA Tour bowlers.
Butters, O'Neill, Dom. I'm still taking O'Neill over Butters and Dom.
Yeah. So we got, let's see, we'll just go through the 2025 PBA Tour players that are exempt because it wouldn't be a non-exempt person.
Yeah, that's true.
AJ Chapman's with Ebonite, Andrew Hall's on Brunswick, Bailey Maverick, Bill O'Neill, Brandon Runk, Cam Crow, Christian Ascona, Boog, Dio Bernard is kind of up there. Eric Jones is kind of up there. Don Barrett. Gary Faulkner, Graham Faw, Sterner.
Zach Wilkins is up there.
Yeah. Jake Peters, Hayden Stipich, Justin Knowles isn't with him anymore. Kevin Williams, Kevin McCune used to be with him. Kim Ballaby, Marshall Kent is with Hammer, but he had a good year last year.
Yeah.
But we didn't really see him much this year. Matt Ogle, Matt Russo's with Motive now. Matt Sanders.
I'm sticking to my gun. Tim Foy had a great year. But if you're going to go like face of the brand, like face of it's going to be Bill O'Neill, right?
Yeah, Bill O'Neill. Tommy Jones is still kind of hanging out, but he's...
I guess Parker could still be considered that.
No, he's full-time PBA 50. So, I mean, if we're talking about kind of like a legacy player, a face of we're talking like current on top. We're talking like EJ Tackett. We're talking like an EJ or a Simo or a Belmo or something like that. And Packy, again.
Packy would be a good one. Like I said, strictly just because of his social media presence, just how good of a dude he really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he can play too, right? Don't get me wrong. I think if you combine those three things together, it's a really good mesh to have as a guy that can kind of, as a not spokesperson, but at the same time a spokesperson, lead your brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like the big guns for Brunswick are either younger and haven't quite had the time yet, or they're guys that are they're getting close to the PBA 50 side of life.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good up and coming bowlers. Again, Tim Foy had a breakout year. Zach Wilkins, I think, is pretty close to our guy. I think is pretty close. Matt Ogle has been very consistent. Packy, I think that you have to think about all the, Dio Bernard and Eric Jones and a lot of these guys are at Boog. They're all on their way up. But I don't think they're quite there yet. It's just the other brands have had the more established EJs and stuff like that. So,
no, yeah, I agree.
EJ, Belmo, Simo.
Will be cool to see who will be free agents for the next season. Yeah, that's always a fun one to see. The new guys, where they go, who goes where, because you always get a couple that come out of left field. I know Moda's finally been trying to sign some guys here the last couple of years. They were kind of quiet, but they really don't have to, right? They've got EJ Tackett.
They've already they just got a lot of, let me find that Facebook post because they locked up a bunch of younger, but like they got the Jordan brothers.
Jordan brothers, and then that girl that won.
Gianna Brandolino, I think.
Brandolino, that's the one, yep. Which back in the day, youth bowlers couldn't sign contracts like that. So
yeah. And then they locked Ethan Fiore up. Here's the post.
Yeah, they signed Ethan Fiore to a multi-year deal before this year started, so they have him for They had him this year and they have him next year.
Multi-year contracts. I don't know what that means, but yeah, Gianna Brandolino, Griffin Jordan, and Landon Jordan signed multiple-year contracts. With these signings, probably the 4 greatest talents 20 and under are all on Team Motive for years to come as they join Ethan Fiore. Yeah, Gianna's going to be a big name here pretty quick. Griffin Jordan won the PBA Junior National Championship. And he also, or was it Landon? Yeah, Landon made the stepladder at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, Griffin's the younger one. No, one's younger.
Yeah.
Griffin's the one with the glasses.
Yeah.
And Landon's the one that made the show.
Oh, no, it says they are twins. Griffin's twin brother, Landon.
They are twins.
Yeah, they're twins. They just don't look alike.
Maybe the glasses for Griffin.
I don't. They don't look alike. Even if you took the glasses off and made the hair the same, they don't look alike.
That's kind of what I thought. I mean, I think the better of the two is Landon, but not that Griffin's not any good or any means. He's good, really, really good. I just think that I like Landon's game a little better. But old Ethan Fiore, they've got Motive's got him a nice little 1-2 punch with EJ and Ethan. That's I think that kid came out and just showed everybody that, hey, look, I'm actually pretty good. So
yeah, and then AJ Johnson's been doing really well.
Kind of a quiet year this year, didn't he?
Yeah, but it wasn't a bad year. It was, I think he made a couple of shows. Then Nathan Bohr, Matt Russo.
Yeah, Russo didn't do anything. Yeah. I was curious to see how that whole thing would go when he made that move for not being able to throw purple hammers anymore. Granted, they can't throw purple hammers on the PBA tour anymore. I know.
Yeah. Black hammer. There's a lot of people that think that the black is almost better than the purple.
Yeah. I mean, well, you get away from not being able to throw black hammer or purple hammer, and Motive doesn't have urethane. So that's a big jump, especially on the left side of the lane, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the purple is quite a bit more dynamic than the black is, but I like the black because I'm able to just keep it in front of me a little bit more. Now, again, I run them in tandem. That's why I drilled that magenta. But I'm gonna take the urethane infinity gauntlet down to nationals. But
please take some reactive.
I am taking reactive to nationals, but I have 4 years at nationals, and I have thrown reactive 3 of those games, and that was the team of my very first time out there, and it was a promotion. Every other time, reactive has just looked like major dog shit, but I am taking that ethos solid. I think that's going to be pretty good, and I will probably take something like a Jack Lonix or whatever, because the doubles and singles seems a little softer and something to kind of put down so I think I probably will be throwing reactive. If I'm throwing urethane in doubles and singles, I'm probably not going to be. It's probably going to be because I'm not having a good time. So I will be able to get away with throwing reactive this year.
Doubles and singles is the softer of the two.
Yeah,
it really is. I could see you throwing. I can almost see you throwing like singles and doubles. I can almost still see you throwing urethane, but I could see throwing it for a short time and getting into reactive later on. Yeah. Because that's kind of what Trevor did. You were going to throw it on team. 100%. You're throwing urethane. Don't even try to think about anything else. You're going to throw urethane for 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Team event, or excuse me, singles and doubles, I can see you getting out of it because there is enough volume. So if you're going to bowl the Bowler's Journal, what you're going to find out is they obviously with the lane service different. They hook quite a bit more at the Bowler's Journal, right?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
But when you get into the building, I'm telling you, you have hold for days. So that's why I'm saying I think you might be able to get away throwing some reactive. I would definitely look at it in practice if you can.
Yeah, I think I'm still taking the Jackal Onyx is something I've really been throwing a lot of. So the Jackal Onyx, the Evoke, Venom Shock, and probably the I might put some surface on that stealth mode and take that again too, because if those other smoother balls just kind of quit on me down lane. Chaz only ever brings urethane to nationals every year, and so he's probably going to be throwing a purple hammer. And so sometimes I do have to have plans for what I'm going to do depending on what Chaz is going to do. But I think that, yeah, I am going to still take four reactive balls. Now the problem is I don't want to take more than 6 balls into the event because, again, the squad room is not big.
Carried 8.
I might do 7 because with that Genesis bag that I have, I can put that 7th ball on the Joey around the handle. And so I probably will take 7 in because I can do it with I don't have to worry about carrying an extra bag or dragging something extra. So
yeah, we all agreed to take 8 apiece. That sucked, carrying that shit.
Yeah.
All that far.
I'm never carrying 8 balls out at nationals again. And if I don't end up having the right ball, I don't care. It's just trying to get that crap down that hallway and out there. You're just sweating your ass off trying to up, down with dragging 2 bags and then having another one on your shoulder and having to stop and go. And
not to mention having to get everything checked.
Yeah, get it in there, get it checked, whatever else. I end up sweating my ass off all the time doing that. I'm never doing it again. So
the squad room is really small, and this year in Baton Rouge, it's in the front. So remember in 12, it was actually behind the lanes. It's in the front. So when you get into the actual arena, there's not a ton. So they have all the booths and stuff outside the arena. And then you'll walk into the arena, and the only store you have in there, other than the snack bar area, right, is you've got the USBC booth, which sells all their USBC logo shit, and then directly next to that is the squad room, and bring. I think you have to bring a card. It's cashless. Yes, it's cashless at the arena.
Mm-hmm.
You. At least to get water and stuff at the checked snack bar, you have to use cards only. So, I think so. I think it was cards. Yeah, it was cards only. Yeah, but and avoid buying beer because it's really expensive. Remember, a bucket was like $55.
Yeah.
Yeah, I messed around and found out. There's something else. Oh, the guy that does the one thing that's going to drive you nuts, and you'll have to come back to me and tell me what your thoughts are. The guy that does the announcements pre bowlers, it's time for, you know what I mean?
Oh,
this guy overplays it, and he thinks it's like Mike Tyson versus Holyfield.
It's tough.
Yeah, you're gonna get that vibe, and you're gonna be like, okay, all right, this guy enjoys his job way too much. Yeah, you guys don't go for another couple months.
Yeah, it's still a solid month and a half away.
That's crazy.
We bowl on the 18th and 19th or 19th and 20th or something like that.
Yeah, Paul Burnett told me today that his doubles partner, he just found out today, his doubles partner for nationals is Tom Clark's son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little Discord set up for our nationals group, and yeah, we're looking at Bowler's Journal squads on Thursday, July 17th.
That's my daughter's birthday. So you better go out there and bowl well. I'm looking forward to that check. That's all I know. That should be a good check.
Yeah.
Should be a good one. You're driving, right?
Yeah. We're going to go
drive straight through, or are you going to stop?
No, we're going to get there on Thursday. We bowl on Saturday, Sunday. We're going to get there later on Thursday, but we're going to drive down to Branson on Wednesday, and then we're going to finish the trip out from there on Thursday. And then we'll do Bowler's Journal, practice session, whatever else, and then we bowl Saturday, Sunday, and then I think we bowl Saturday, Sunday.
Where are you guys stopping at? Because we stopped in Shreveport. We drove enough. We're like,
well, like I said, we're gonna stay in Branson on the way down.
Oh, that's right. You said You said Branson. Okay.
So yeah,
is Angel going or just you?
I think it's just me. My parents go every year, but we don't think we're gonna have people to watch the dogs. So
you gonna go to like Silver Dollar City again?
No, I think we're going to go see a show Wednesday night.
Sweet. From Branson? It should be what? 8 hours.
Yeah, it's still going to be a longer day the second day,
I
but
think it's 8 hours from Branson because we looked at actually doing that and doing Ozarks and then leaving from Ozarks going straight to Nationals because we bowled like Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it was the days that we bowled. I think. Heck, I don't know. It was like the third week of the tournament. But yes, it is movie theater pricing in there. It's ridiculous. I'm being serious. If you buy a bucket of beer in the stadium, it is $55. I know I've discussed this before, but I'm not telling you a story. It is really $55.
yeah, I would believe it. Hi, Buck. What are you talking about?
I was very shocked.
Got your collar on. Did you
No,
go
I was-
for a walk? You went for a walk, didn't you? Go talk to Mama. I know. Yeah. Let me see. 19th and 20th. And even on the 20th, we're bowling singles and doubles at 11:30 p.m.
Oh, you're bowling the 11:30 p.m. squad?
Yeah. So, yeah, we're
Oh.
going to sleep in. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to just sleep in on Monday, and then we'll drive back to Branson, and then Tuesday we'll come home.
Oh.
'Cause,
We
yeah,
bowled at like 1:30. I think it was like 1:30. 1 o'clock, 1:30, whatever that. Not the morning squad, but the one after. And then we bowled at 7 a.m. the next day. I think I'd rather bowl at 7 a.m. than I would at 11:30 at night.
Yeah, 7 a.m. As long as you get enough sleep the night before, I would be fine. We bowled at 7 a.m. a couple times with our group, and it was fine. But it's just, the 11:30 is going to be rough because I'm going to be ready to go to bed at 9 o'clock, and then we're still 2.5 hours before we bowl, and then we're going to be bowling until 3 a.m. or whatever.
I'd already gotten drunk, sobered up, and got drunk again by then.
Team's at 7:45 the night before, so that'll be fine.
7:45. See, I would bowl that team squad.
Yeah, 7:45, that'll be fine. But yeah, we're bowling 19th and 20th. So.
You bowl over 24 hours later. So you bowl the 7:30 team and then don't bowl till 11:30 at night?
Yeah.
Holy shit. We'll have to stop after 3 buckets, Jason Nelson said. You're my kind of guy. We actually did split. I think we ended up splitting 3 buckets between 10 of us. It wasn't, not all 10 were drinking. But I think I bought a bucket, Trevor bought a bucket, and Johnny bought a bucket. And between us, we split them. We didn't, like I said, didn't find out the prices until afterwards. It was that story where I was headed to go to the bathroom after the squad, and Amanda calls me and is like, "What did you buy at the arena? Did you buy a shirt or something at one of the booths?" And I was like, "No, I didn't buy anything." And she goes, "Really? Because it says you spent $55 at the stadium." Yeah. And I was like, "I bought a bucket of beer." And she goes, "Did you really buy a freaking $55 bucket of beer?" And I said, "Allegedly, I didn't know."
Yeah.
They didn't tell me, like, "Hey, this is $55
beer. Here's my card."
But I said, "Well, I wouldn't have bought it for that." "Well, too late for that." I said, "Well, it tasted good."
About like buying pitchers at North Rock.
That ain't no shit. And I'm the one that has to find out every time because if you remember, right, I was the one. She was like, "Oh, you'll get more beer if you get the tall one with the tower, or get 2 pitchers instead of the tall one." She hands it to me, $45.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what was your doubles experience on doubles and singles? Fronts disappeared on us. Everyone was through the face starting midway game through. That's a great question. Yes, the fronts went away pretty quick. I actually thought they stayed intact pretty good for doubles. I didn't move a ton in doubles. I shot 680 in doubles to be exact, and I didn't. Like I said, I threw an effect tour right up 5, 7, somewhere in that number. I'm not accurate enough to tell you exactly what I was hitting, but the fronts did really start to go away. And what I noticed once I got out of the effect tour, I switched to like a Black Widow 3.0 that was pretty lane shined. I think Dylan and I got together before and decided let's keep something shined up that's got that kind of cover and core. And I couldn't get anything to finish after that. So shine was just too clean. And where I really fought it from there was once I got back into some surface that I had still in the bag, it picked up too quick. And I was really starting to fight ball reaction after that. But yeah, no, the fronts did go away pretty quick, especially our whole group was right on top of the gutter. So everybody's just burning up that hole. And you could see, because the way the reflection was coming off the lights, you could see exactly where everybody's lay down spot was. And it was like pitched. It was like blank. No
Yeah.
oil. You couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's a great question. That's similar experience here.
Yeah, and that's with the way that it sounds and seems. It's like, yeah, the heads are probably going to go, and then the back ends are going to get a little bit tight. And
yeah, the back ends never. I didn't see a ton of the back ends. I just
doing
with the fronts going so quick. There was enough volume down lane where with my rev rate, it was too clean. Anything clean was just puking. And then if I tried to chase it left with surface up front, with the heads with it rolling off the head so quick that it just kind of puked. Does that make sense? It puked as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of struggled, but it was all good. It's all good. Still cheaper than Reno and Bolero. Yeah. Both experiences, I've spent more money on beer for one experience in my life. The Bolero Center and Reno or in Baton Rouge. So.
Yeah, we'll have to see what. Of course, I'm not going to see what's happening in Reno next year. Thank God.
I'm freaking going. Told Trevor I wasn't going. Johnny and I told him we weren't going. Well, I really don't want to. I want to keep going and get in the habit and keep going and going.
It's worth it once, but
I've been there plenty of times.
Yeah,
I hate
it. It's worth it once as it is now.
Well, we were gonna Amanda was gonna go with me, and then we finally decided we're like, why don't you just go to Vegas? Because did you see? I know you don't usually fly, but they're planning on coming out of Topeka. They're planning on having direct flights to Vegas.
Yeah, I did see that.
Flying from Topeka, so sign me up.
Yeah, we'll still always drive, and I really do enjoy the drive. The drive to Reno sucks, but the drive to Vegas is a lot of fun, and I actually look forward to driving that now. And even if I'm not terribly sure that I'm going to go to Greenville. It's like, it sounds like...
Why not?
I don't know. It's a different place, but I've also heard people say, they said that, well, Baton Rouge kind of sucked because it was dirty, and it's like Reno without casinos. And I've heard people kind of say the same thing about, or not necessarily the same thing about Greenville. It's like, well,
Baton Rouge was Reno without casinos?
Yeah.
Oh, God, there's a shitload of them everywhere.
Yeah, well.
That's all we did the whole time I was there. We were in a casino.
Well, I remember we had to go to the casino to get our bracket money last time we were there.
Talking about Reno?
No, in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, that's where the bracket payouts used to be. They pay you out at the center now.
I didn't quite understand what somebody meant by that, but it's like, yeah, it's just Baton Rouge sucked. But everybody's saying it's like, well, Greenville's nice, but there's just nothing to do there. You're going to go bowl, and that's just going to be it. So
there is a smaller casino, like literally on the same street as the bowling center. So if you go down, if you come out of the center after you're coming out the bottom, take a right, like you're actually and head back towards the hotel where you're staying. Because you're staying in the hotel that's directly across the street from where I stayed. It's right there. I mean, we Ubered to it multiple times. If you're with Trevor and Dylan, anything, those guys like to gamble, and so we always were together every night. And so we were in a casino every night that we were down there. And I did see a gator at one of the casinos, so I got to see an actual gator down there. It was at the LaBouge. Wow, I don't know. Their sports books in Louisiana are legit.
I would like to spend some time in the sports book.
Their sports books are legit down there. But no, it was. I didn't mind it. I thought the downtown area where we were at was kind of cool. I've been down there before, but we drove and stuff. Now driving to like the Bowler's Journal, you'll see it's pretty dirty, right? So no offense to anybody that's there. I didn't really. It's not my favorite city to go to, but we didn't have any problems ourselves. But
yeah, so even
the food is good. Sorry.
Yeah.
Food was damn good.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. But I would say I'm definitely never going to Reno again, and it depends on what they're going to do. I want to keep going, so even if I just kind of like, I'll just go bowl Vegas because we like going to Vegas and staying at South Point, and that's all been fine, and whatever else, and we like the trip, and so I'll keep going for Vegas. I'm just not sure if I'm gonna, I'll find some random team to hop on with when it's time for Vegas, but
you can bowl with us.
Yeah, I suppose if there's a we'll have to see what happens with our team, because there was one year that we took 4 teams, and then it seems like the last several years we've had to just kind of cobble something together at the last minute, and everybody's kind of going different directions on stuff. So
I think we're talking about adding teams. So we only carry. We're starting to just expand our group. We carry 2 teams, and we're trying to expand them. We want to have at least a couple of really good regular teams, and then we want to have a good team that can compete in the division under. That's got a couple of the guys that are in the regular division, but a couple of solid bowlers that keeps you in that average division where you can bowl in the in the help me out, class. Is it classic?
There's classified, standard, and regular.
Still standard. So if you want a couple of good teams that are in standard, and because Trevor's like, would you bowl the standard team if I put you with a good group of the standard going down the road? And I'm like, yeah. I don't give a shit how I win an eagle. Yeah, if I have a good group and we win an eagle in the standard,
yeah,
I don't care. But do you care?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing this year. That was Waspo's idea, trying to come up with, because we had a couple spots open and we were trying to find people, and he found people that fit for the different kind of direction. So
why wouldn't you? Who cares?
Yeah. I don't care. That's what we're doing this year. And the singles and doubles and all events will still be in the regular division. So
yeah, that's how we were. I've even told him I don't mind bowling doubles with a standard.
Yeah, I would be doubles in the standard division too.
So it just depends. But we're trying to grow our group. So if it comes down to it and you kind of get shuffled out because you sit out of Reno, then give me a shout. We can get you in with us.
Really, if Chaz and Dallas managed to put something together every year, because we had James got on with a different group. I think James Hoff will still go, and he would be one. It just depends on because I think that this is Waswo's last time he's going to nationals, because his health and trying to make the travel and doing the travel and whatever else. And then I think after Ryan Klaus would still go with us. And then Bruce used to go with us, but he's not bowling anymore. And then Ramsden doesn't bowl anymore. He goes to nationals with us, but if the group just like, well, we just kind of fell apart, he'd be like, okay, whatever, and he'd be done.
Yeah.
So it just depends on if the group actually stays together. If those guys keep going, I'll probably keep going with them if we can actually put something together. But it's been pretty difficult the last couple of years. And then if I don't go to Reno, and I'm not going to Reno, but if they don't end up putting anything together for next year, then I might just hop on the Vegas years or something. But
yeah, we're gonna bowl. I'm bowling going forward. So, and I was gonna bowl with you guys in the past, but you guys always bowl on my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, we always bowled around.
I can't. I just can't do it.
What worked out for everybody.
Like I've always said, if she's 17, 18 years old, it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
She's turning 10, and so it's not the easiest. She
Yeah.
looks like Redneck Ray right now. She's lost like 3 teeth in the last few weeks. Baby, she still had the baby teeth. They're still falling out. She got her braces off.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Dallas, Kansas City, Memphis. No offense to anybody that watches this show that's from Memphis. Elvis is from Memphis, so it's hard for me to say this because I love my Elvis, but Memphis is a shithole.
Yeah. God, as long as it never goes back to Syracuse either.
Memphis is dirty. And it gets rough there. From what I understand, crime rate is not good. Yeah. Dallas would be a cool one. I like Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
OKC would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
The USBC Nationals, I believe, if you look at the history of the national tournament, I'm pretty sure Kansas City has been a host before. It's way back in the day, but I'm pretty sure they've hosted one. Kansas City would be a good one. Bartle Hall would be a good fit for it.
Yeah, I think
parking would be a fiasco.
Yeah, that's
Bartle Hall's Kansas City's. That's their convention center, or you could put it in the Overland Park Convention Center.
Yeah, the problem is that any of those places that would be good to host it, the parking would be wretched.
Yes.
Like it would just be miserable.
Well, like Overland Park Convention Center has, excuse me, they have a parking garage. Bartle Hall would suck. It'd be a great venue for it, but Bartle Hall would suck because there's not a really good parking down there. Goodness, excuse me, swallowed wrong. Did you have you been into Bartle Hall?
I don't think so.
So when you're going into Kansas City, Missouri, you know the when you go under the lights
Mm-hmm.
and under the bridge,
Yeah.
where the big tower things are in Kansas City.
Okay.
It's
So
one of the most iconic pictures. If what you're going under is Bartle Hall.
okay. So it's
Yeah.
kind of over there by Sprint Center then.
Yes,
Or
yeah,
kind
that
of.
is Bartle Hall. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's a really cool building, though, to know that when you're walking around in there, you're literally standing right over the highway. Yeah,
Mhm.
when you go under that bridge, that's Bartle Hall. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
There
down
was
there by like the performing school or the music hall and all that stuff down there. There's a lot of stuff that's down there. I think our group was talking about going with Trevor next year. Sweet, Jason, yeah, come with us. Oh gosh, no, that's a bad idea. You stay far away. I will drink way too much.
Yeah. Hey, Buck. What are you doing, Buck? Where's your collar?
But no, yeah, it's if that happens, that's fine. Because Amanda said the same thing to me. I thought you said you weren't going to Reno, and I said, well, that's what I said. But
If you just go there and bowl and get out, if you don't stay there any extra time,
or not.
but for us, I mean, it's like I'm not driving all the way there to just bowl the tournament and driving all the like if I'm flying down and bowling a BJ and a team practice session and bowling the event and driving back, we'll probably suffer through it for a couple days. But
Ugh.
all that time in the car just to end up in Reno.
That's why we're flying. We drove to Baton Rouge. That was long enough for me.
What you doing?
We made the whole trip home on the day after. So we bowled the 7:30 squad. We got done, whatever time it was. Had to wait on the boys to get bracket money. I didn't play any on Sunday. I should have. Well, it cost myself some money, but we drove straight home from there. 12, 13 hours. I think it was 13 hours. Made it all in one day.
It's kind of the wrong amount of time because even when we're driving to Vegas or Reno, we have like an 11 or 12-hour driving day, but Baton Rouge is just a little too far.
Well, Dylan actually had to work the next day. So he didn't tell us this until kind of late in the game. It was the day before we were getting ready to plan to leave, and Dylan's like, hey guys, I'm gonna have to drive myself if you're not driving back the next day. And we're kind of like, because Dylan and Trevor and Johnny and I were like, well, maybe we'll just drive for a little bit and we'll stop. Maybe stop back in Shreveport again, make a little 8-hour, 7-hour trip, whatever it was. No, we couldn't be a jerk to Dylan like that. Once he told us that, we're like, nah, we'll just drive. It sucked, but we got into a certain part of Kansas and it was like 10 o'clock. Johnny's like, I need a beer. So Johnny had Trevor drive and drank beer in the back of the car. I will say, when we got into about an hour outside of Emporia, because we rode from Johnny's, we drove to Johnny's and left. We saw more deer in the back of this road. I shit you not. I bet we saw 15 to 20 deer on this road crossing the road in the middle of the night from that hour spot to Johnny's house in Emporia. Trevor was driving at the time, and he was like, you could see his hands, how white they were, squeezing the steering wheel because he was scared because he was driving Johnny's vehicle.
Yeah.
Missed out on Tahoe last time due to scheduling, so I'm going to try that again. I never go over there. I just stay to Reno.
My parents like driving up there.
Oh, it's beautiful up there.
So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, Baton Rouge is 13 hours, a little over 13 hours from us. So yeah, that's just the wrong, because by the time you stop, and even if you're just grabbing stuff at a drive-through and speeding the whole way, you got to stop for gas, you got to stop for food. That turns it into a 14 or 15-hour day. That's just wrong.
It is a long day.
Let me see from.
It is a very long day. I was a zombie. So when we got to Johnny's, we didn't stay at Johnny's that night. We went. Trevor and I drove home. Trevor and I and Dylan. So basically, add on another 45 minutes to an hour. I walk in the house, man. I took my clothes off and I laid in the bed and I went, boom. I was done. I was gone. Absolutely gone. It's crazy how just sitting in a car for that long can take it out of you.
Yeah, just wear you out for no reason. Yeah.
We didn't do anything. I mean, all we did was sit there and listen to and smell Johnny and Dylan fart the whole time. 2-day drive for Rash and I. Yeah, we broke it up. We shouldn't. I think we could have made it further than Shreveport on the way down. Because at that time, we're all jacked up. Like, we're ready to get there.
Yeah,
But no, we're in Shreveport. What the hell do you think we did? We went to the casino. So, but we did go to the casino, went in the sports book, and we got to watch the UFC pay-per-view for free. So
yeah, that would have
that was nice.
See what's
And when I'm telling you, we're in the sports book with this TVs were freaking huge, and it was an ESPN bet sports book. This was really cool. It was like 2 stories. This place was legit. It was legit.
Yeah, that'd be. We'll see if I can make it over that. I don't know.
That was in Shreveport. That was in Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's in, I can't think of the name of the one that's down the street from the bowling center. But no, don't go to a casino just to go to one.
Yeah, because I would go in there to if we were going to eat in there or put something in at the sports book. But
what I understand is the casino down the street from the bowling center or from the arena, not arena, but convention center, has a really good seafood restaurant. We tried to go there, and when we showed up there, it was closed for a private party.
Oh.
Trevor's parents went the night before and said it was phenomenal. Have gator on the menu, everything.
Yeah, we might have to do that then.
Stop in and put 100 on black.
Yeah.
If you don't, can I give you 100 to take to put on black?
Mm-hmm.
I was 3 for 3 that weekend, so.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to hear what your experiences are while you're down there and how you bowl. It feels like it's coming up because you haven't done it in so long. So
Yeah. But yeah, we'll still have several more shows by the time I make it down there. But yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend in Springfield. It's kind of nice I only had to go into the office one day this week because we had Monday off for the holiday, and then I just was in the office yesterday, and then I work from home on Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're leaving on Friday. So
that's the casino connected to Bally's Hotel. There's a Bally's Hotel in Shreveport and casino that is across the bridge in Shreveport that we were at. We went to the Margaritaville casino in Shreveport. The one that's next to the convention center, Baton Rouge, I can't remember. But yeah, I'll text you this weekend. Don't be surprised if you get a message from me and asking how you bowl. I'm really curious.
Yeah. We noon on Saturday, 1:30 Sunday. And
who are you bowling doubles with?
Greg Athelstan, Greg Napier. You know him if you saw him.
Same.
I'm pretty sure.
Actually, I think Greg Napier was in here earlier talking.
Yeah, he was.
In the chat. Okay, yeah. See, I'm not too crazy. I don't know. You want to stay longer, or you want to fill out the last 12 minutes?
No, I think we could probably go on ahead. There's only 20 people still in here, so.
Thanks a lot, people. Just kidding. Smash that like button for those that watch this later, even though we said something infactual, I'm sure.
Yeah. I got
it's Luke. He doesn't do his research, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. I just show up and it's low effort.
The one thing you need to do, I'm going to remind you again, and I almost sent you something today, but I figured you were busy with work stuff because, it's an adult day. That's what we do, fire up a work day.
Yeah.
We need to do the pre-intro thing.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the count. There's got to be some fun thing I can do with the countdown. I keep forgetting that.
When are you doing your Cool Wick review?
I don't know.
Did those pictures work though? Will they work for what you're looking for?
Oh yeah. That was I'm putting those into because I always mention in my videos that whenever people buy something that a lot of the whatever. So I was just going to insert her pictures in there so that people can actually see instead of just thinking I'm pulling a Sarah McLachlan and.
Don't do that again.
Jerseys for the kids. Where are these kids with said jerseys? Now there's pictures.
We should do our own Sarah McLachlan one now. Yeah. You did that one day and you sent it to me, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Mm-hmm.
But we yeah, that's a great idea. The best one would be her standing by the ball return. That's perfect.
Yeah. I'm using both the pictures. Kind of.
She loves them. She just swaps them in all the time. Swaps them in and out. So looks to me to be a spokesperson for Dude Wipes on the PWBA commercial.
Yeah.
I mean, I love me some Dude Wipes. I'll do Dude Wipes all day.
Yeah,
All right, I'll let you get out of here. I think you're probably hungry.
Yeah, we got some Angels warming up some brats. I got cooked some, smoked some brats over the weekend, and then my little secret trick. I smoke them low for about an hour and a half, and then I wrap them up in aluminum foil with some lemon juice, and go another 30 minutes. I probably need it longer on the smoke, but the lemon juice really breaks down the casing so that I can just get that hard smoke on the brats, but then they're not like chewy. They're still got that little snap or that little crunch to them, but you're not chewing on, have chewy casing because the lemon juice kind of breaks it down and it gives a little citrus thing. So the jalapeno cheddar brats finished off with lemon juice.
So they're not as crunchy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, they still have that nice little snap or that pop, but sometimes if you smoke brats for too long, they can get the casing, the outer part can get a little too chewy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the lemon juice really softens them up a little bit, but you still get that nice snap when you bite into them.
One last question before you get off here, and it's related to that. What is your go-to condiment topping on a brat?
Oh, I don't really do. I do ketchup.
So I've met people that do mustard, people that like
Angel does mustard.
There's a lot of mayos out there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say mayo on a brat is pretty good. So if you haven't tried it, give it a shot.
I might have to figure something out for that because I just kind of treat it like a hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, do you like relish on a hot dog?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't either. So we get along.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's get off here.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and shut her down. Thanks for everybody for hanging out tonight, and if you caught this later, thanks for hanging out too. We should be back in 2 weeks because that'll be the week before the golf tournament.
Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we can talk about that next time because that'll be the show right before the golf tournament.
11th, right? 11th?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm going to play like shit, just so you know.
Yeah, well, I've actually gotten out. I've gone out a couple times with James, and I'm going to try to make it out the weekend before, too. So I might actually have 3 whole rounds in before we get that weekend.
You're talking about you might play the 7th and 8th weekend?
Yeah. It's going to take James to Lake Shawnee.
Don't bring him to my house. Just kidding. Because I live like 30 seconds from there, but just kidding. Actually, I think we're going to go to German Fest that Sunday, the 8th. So.
Oh, okay.
And then Amanda qualified for the youth adult thing in Emporia, so the 7th we won't be around.
Oh, okay.
But we do need to get together and talk about camping food for when we get done, what we want to eat.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss.
Yeah.
We can talk about that off the air. So.
Yep. All right. Well,
all right.
Thanks, everybody.